Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us here. We are in a Zoom room doing our first Wash Day Wednesday, and we just wanted you to be able to get a sneak peek of some girly conversations about the RevAir reverse air dryer. We know that right now is a super serious time in the world, and the state of affairs is really something that is unseen by all of us. And by no means do we want to discount how serious things are, but we also know that the four of us constantly have the news on all the time, and we were talking about how we need a respite from all of the bad news. And as we are kind of locked here in our homes, instead of going stir crazy and not feeling like ourselves, we thought that we would go ahead and doll ourselves up and get out of our buns and our sweats and put some makeup on and have some time together. So in the coming weeks and possibly in the coming months, we'll be doing some Wash Day Wednesdays with different people. We want you guys to see how RevAir works, but we also just want to have a place where we can have a community and talk and have some lightheartedness. Speaking of lightheartedness, what is the thing you guys are missing most right now with being in stay-at-home orders? I'm going to tell you mine. Mine is getting my roots done. I'm living for L'Oreal root spray right now. If you guys had seen me a few minutes ago, it was very Pepe Le Pew. But thank God the Amazon order came today, and I no longer have roots. So what are you missing, Jordan?
I'm missing getting my nails done at this point. Just that quiet me time, and a stranger typically rubbing my legs down. Nicest touch.
I'm sure you can find someone on Craigslist who would rub your legs down for you, a stranger. Just 6 feet away, social distancing. How long are your legs? And Sally, what are you missing?
I'm missing my family that's outside this home and hugs. Oh my God, I need a hug. But I do have my family's here. Everyone's working from home. My family, my kids, my husband. That's about it.
Aw, and Tia?
You know, I don't have a particular thing that I did all the time that I miss doing, but I just miss being outside with people, like just going to a park and being able to just hang out, or hiking with people outdoors, just the feeling of going outside and seeing a community. I didn't realize how important community was until this all happened, and I go outside now and there's hardly anyone here, and I'm in Los Angeles. So I just miss seeing people. I miss having that connection every day, because I think we were created for that. So it's really like hitting me in a really deep way right now.
Yeah, these Zoom rooms are really helpful. I mean, could you imagine if we were doing this in the age of like no Wi-Fi, no internet? I mean, that would really be something else. So we hope that all of you who are joining us in the comfort of your own home, we know you are missing things as well. And whatever those things are, we hope that we can all get back to it soon. So stay in, wash your hands, social distancing. I was going to try and play some music for you guys, but it wasn't working. So, you know, look at a playlist. I know on Spotify, a friend of mine started a COVID-19 playlist with songs about not standing so close to one another and those sorts of things. So make it as fun as you can for the time you're there. I also want to thank, and I know you girls want to as well, all the people on the frontline workers who wish they could be bored and missing something. They don't have time for that. They're doing the work that none of us want to do because it would be too heart-wrenching. So thank you to all of them. And also, I just want everybody to know that this isn't meant to be some big sales pitch tonight. This is just meant to be a place where we have some community and some fun. If you do buy a RevAir, I want you to know that we're trying to give back as well. So if you do, 10% of our profits are going to Feeding America so that we can help people who are having food insecurity and need some help during this time, because there is enough to worry about without your tummy growling. So we need to make sure we're taking care of one another. So to get started really quick, and we're going to get revving, we're just going to talk a little bit about who we are, where we're from, and our hair type. I'll start. I'm Crystal, and I'm here in California, and I've already revved my hair today, so I could be ready for these gals. My hair is like a 2-3. It's wavy and curly, and it's not consistent in any way, so it doesn't look good if I just try to wear it wavy or curly. So anytime I want to style it, I have to straighten it first to put curl back into it. So Rev has really saved the day with that. Jordan, what about your hair? Let's talk about your hair type and how you used to do your hair and your hair challenges prior.
Yeah, so I have type 3 hair. It's very curly. And right now I actually have 18-inch hair extensions in, and they're straight. So in order to even have hair extensions, I needed something like this that would kind of straighten and dry at once, because before, when I dried my hair, it was so big and it was so puffy, I had to straighten it and then curl it. So it was always such a process. So this has definitely cut it down for me.
How long did it take you before to do your hair?
At least an hour.
And
to
now?
go through the whole process. Now it's about 30 minutes. So I've cut it in half, which is significant for adding hair as well. Because the hour was just before the hair extensions too.
Wow, that's a lot of work. No wonder people wear their hair in a bun all the time.
Yeah.
Tia, tell us about your hair, darling.
Okay, how much time do we have? No, I'm just kidding.
All night,
No,
all night.
I have, so my hair's a little bit bipolar. I have
That's a good description of my hair.
4C hair. Yes, it's like a mix between coily and curly. I have parts that are more coarse and parts that are more fine. And it typically took me like 3 hours to do my hair. And I'm not even joking, because that's from the second I stepped out the shower. I had to section my hair. Then I had to go and blow dry each section. And then I went back through and would blow dry each section again. And then I would have to go and flat iron each section. So all of that together, taking little breaks here and there because my arm would feel like it was about to fall off, took me about 3 hours. And now after using RevAir, I can, depending on what kind of style I want to go for, which I'll talk about later, I love RevAir for that. I can do it within 15 to 20 minutes.
That's unreal, you guys, from 3 hours.
3 hours.
To 15 to 20 minutes. And I got to see Tia use this for the first time. We'll tell you that story in a few minutes, and her reaction to it. But I know, like, I used to plan things on the days that I was going to wash my hair. And if there's any men watching this, they're like, what do you mean? But I'd be like, okay, I have this on this day and this on this day. I could probably stretch it if I use some dry shampoo and not have, because I hated blow drying my hair that much that I literally like made a whole calendar of it for the week. Jordan, don't smile so big. I know you've done that a few times. Sally with the good hair. Talk to us about how long it used to take you to do your hair.
Well, my hair used to be about 8 inches longer until I just chopped it about a month and a half ago to this length. So I'm loving it. Super, super thick. I remember being in high school and putting my hair under a microscope for biology class, and I had the thickest strands of hair imaginable. Super long, thick, puffy. Like if I don't blow dry my hair, it's out to here. Not as bad as my daughter's, but super thick. And this has really saved my life. And Crystal, I can't remember what exactly my hair type is. Can you remember what
I would say you have a little bit of wave to your hair, so probably like a 2. When I've seen your hair, it's not super curly. It's just you have a ton of hair, and your hair is like so lustrous, and there's just so much of it that is, you know, I think people always think that you have to have texture to your hair to really love using RevAir, but the truth of the matter is people who just have a lot of hair and it takes them a long time, this is perfect for them as well. So I want to talk quickly before I have you guys get started. I think what I'll do is quickly have you talk about where you first discovered RevAir. Tia, we'll start with you because I know that that's kind of a fun story. And then in a couple of minutes here, we'll get everybody revving.
Okay, so I happened to see this post about an opportunity to try this new hair equipment that would essentially or could blow dry and straighten your hair, and it could do it in an incredible amount of time. So I didn't know what it was. I hadn't heard anything like that. So I said, you know what? I'm so tired of putting heat on my hair and damaging my curls all the time. I'm willing to try anything at this point, because if nothing works, I'm either stuck wearing my hair naturally curly all the time with no variety, or I got to figure out how to cornroll so I can weave this up. So I submitted, and they picked me, thank God. And it was to go on the doctors. And I went and I saw this machine.
Not go to, let's make sure the audience understands. Not go to the doctor.
No,
go on
the doctors. Sorry, yeah, go on the
NBC
doctors.
Called The Doctors.
Yes, the TV show called The Doctors, with gorgeous Travis and all the other doctors on there. So I went.
I like that the other ones have no names to you. You're like gorgeous Travis and all the other
No,
doctors.
they're all beautiful. They're all amazing. I swear I know their names when I think about it, but he's the first one that comes up. And I tried this machine, and this was the first time that I'd ever heard of RevAir, ever seen it. And I really didn't know what to think. I was just full of hope and so much expectation, because if this worked for me, I knew it was going to be such a game changer. I knew it was a wrap. So in my heart, I wanted it to work. And at the same time, I was like, I don't know. It could work for her hair, but my hair is coarse and curly and thick. I don't know, but we're going to see. So that's kind of how I got introduced to RevAir. And I fell in love ever since.
Sally, I know Sally found it through a friend, and full disclosure, Jordan and I are friends, and she got to try RevAir when it was just a 3D prototype that we were printing to test the theory, and she let me stick her hair in there, you guys. That's how good of a friend she was. It was a 3D prototype, and she let me put her hair in there. So Jordan, why don't you tell them about your first time?
I obviously had heard about it from you, and was so excited to try it. It was a little scary at first, I thought. But once I used it, I knew that there was no going back. And that was probably the worst part, because I knew I had to go home from LA and that I was going to have to use my actual hair dryer again, which I no longer own. So it just took me a while. It was a while before, from the first time I got to use it, which was so awesome, to when it came out, and it was like torture having to go back to.
She would text me like I wanted to block her. She was like a stalker or something. She was like, how much longer? How much longer? I would just get these text messages of her with her hair this big after she had blow dried it. I'd just be like, how much longer is all that the text would say. And I have to say thank you to Jordan, because when we did finally go live, she was the person who bought the very first RevAir ever. So thank you so much for that. All right. Well, speaking of it being scary, why don't we go ahead and jump in? I'm going to have you guys go ahead and mute your phones. Let's do 2 sections, and I'll talk people through things, and they can watch you do your hair, and then we'll jump back in for some more conversation. So go to it. Okay, everyone. So I have them muting because 3 revs would be a little loud. But I wanted to show you through it. What you see them using is the RevAir wand. Now, they are making sure that their hair is wet. We've been chatting for a little while, so they have been wetting it down with one of our spray bottles. Once they do that, they go into the RevAir wand. And as part of the base unit of RevAir, there are 7 settings. So you can have one of these for your whole household, and it'll work on every single person. So every girl you see there in the frame here on Facebook Live is using the same device, even though they have different hair types. And I say that this here is like how hard you would have to pull your round brush. This is the tension or the suction or the reverse air, hence the name RevAir. Then they choose their heat level. And here is the heat level. There is a high heat and there is a low heat, and then there is no heat. Now, unlike a blow dryer that blow dries all of the hot air onto you, this is pulling the hot air away. It also pulls the water off of the hair, so it allows you to dry your hair 3 times faster. So when Tia's talking about going from 3 hours to 15 minutes, it's because she's not just displacing that water and blowing it all around. It's literally being pulled from the hair, and at the same time, it is sealing the cuticle on the hair. If you think of your cuticle on your hair as roof shingles, and the whole reason your hair looks better when you come home from the hairstylist is they're standing above you with that nozzle and they're spraying down the air down onto the hair. Well, if you're using this and it's using suction, it's pulling the hair cuticle in the direction that it wants to go. So it closes it, which makes your hair frizz-free and shiny. And if you're using products that have benefits to it, underneath of those shingles, it's locking in the product and sealing it in there. So it's really fantastic. Now you can see Tia's hair. She has been able to straighten a great amount of it already. Jordan has gone through a couple of her sections. You can see how shiny and how quickly Sally's going. The hair goes in to the wand using suction. They need no brush at all. Brushes are what cause breakage. Brushes and the friction of that is what causes hair loss. So people will jokingly say, oh my gosh, is that going to cut my hair? There is nothing in there to cut your hair. This tube here in the wand is aerodynamically designed so that the hair will float in the middle. And it's getting 360 all the way from your root to your end. It's drying at the same time. So that also cuts down on how much time. And the heat level is minimal. Children actually use these all the time. If you go to our page, you'll see a 5-year-old who has type 4 coily hair can do this herself. You don't have to worry about a flat iron and somebody who would be using hot plates to singe their hair into submission. So you can still keep that curl pattern. We're not saying straight hair is better. We are saying we love curls so much that if you decide to straighten it because you change your lipstick every day and your clothes every day, why not change your hair around as your personality is suited for it? Then we want you to do it in the healthiest way possible. Also, if you're trying to achieve a stretch style or perhaps a protective style. So each of the girls is just going through their hair. It's as simple as that. It's almost a little boring at times because you are just sitting there waiting. It's anywhere from 30 seconds if your hair is less curly or wavy, all the way up to about 90 seconds per section. And you can see how Tia there in the salmon colored top, she is moving it around her roots to make sure she gets right to the root for drying, especially for coily or curly hair. So there are little dots in here that immediately blast to the root area, but it's pulled back away through the suction so you don't feel any heat on yourself at all. So they are just going to town. Look at them, how much of their hair they've already finished. As soon as they come back in, we'll talk through what they did. All set? Thank you. Tia, are you back on?
I am back on.
Okay, let's see. Can you turn around and show us a bit?
Yes. So
Look at that.
super long.
It is. So that is great of you to mention that your hair is super long, because people wonder if this device will work. As long as your hair isn't as long as the hose, it will work. So you've got 6 feet to play with. Do you want to talk to people about the settings you use?
Yes, absolutely. So, and this is something that ever since I've had this, I've been able to play around with, and one of the reasons why I love RevAir. So typically, like, my setting is like a 6 or a 7. What I love about RevAir is that for me, I can play between styles. So if I want a really bone straight or super sleek look, I can put it on the highest setting and I can rev for longer. And this is something that you'll really have to play with, you know, when you have a RevAir. It's great because you can really see, okay, if I rev for 90 seconds, my hair is going to come out like this. But then I can also rev for 60 seconds on a 6 setting, and I can get this more stretched, natural look. So it just depends. I can take the 7 setting, go through it with a flat iron 1 time so it's still no heat, and I get this really bone straight look, or I can do this natural sort of stretched look, which I like now. When I was younger, I hated it because I'm like, no, I want my hair to look like the Pantene Pro V. But now I love the more like natural stretched out look. And so that's what I get if I rev for a certain amount of time. So the different settings and the different amounts of time really bring different styles. So it's really versatile.
Okay, so what I'm noticing is the whole time you're talking, you just did it again right there. You are petting yourself, is what I call it. And anybody who gets a rev starts to do this thing after the first time they try it, and they just can't keep their hands out of their hair, and it feels ridiculously soft. And it's so weird to think that your hair doesn't feel that way after using a blow dryer. It's kind of mind blowing. Like, wow, just the difference in it. So. Jordan, let's see the shine in that hair. Holy Moses. Turn that hair. Let's see it. It's gorgeous. Yeah. Really, really beautiful. So, Jordan, have you noticed a difference in the health of your hair?
Absolutely.
Because you've been using it the longest. You bought the first one.
Yes. My hair is a lot healthier. It's not as dry. It's been able to grow faster on its own because it's not breaking off. And I can't stress enough how soft it really is.
You're petting too.
And I remember the first couple times I used it when out traveling to LA to see you. I washed my hair every day because I was touching it so much that I knew it just was going to get dirty so fast because it was just so soft. So it's a completely different feel than if the coarseness and the straw-like feel that I used to get whenever I would blow dry.
I laughed because I was telling Jordan when she first came to LA to visit me, and she was trying it. And I was laughing because I said, I don't want to hear that your hair looks or feels oily, because it's not because of the device. It's because you can't keep your hands out of your hair. And she's like, it's true. I'm just like, it feels so good. I can't, like, we go anywhere we go, she's like petting her hair. And I just thought it was really funny to just watch her sitting across from me and not realizing that she was playing with her hair the whole time. So Sally, you're like my mom, where you have, my mom has, well, used to have really long, but it's shorter now, dark hair, lots of it. My mom's Hawaiian, you're Hispanic, so you have dark hair. And my mom used to have to sweep the bathroom floor after she would blow dry her hair because her hair would be everywhere. So talk to me about that.
Yes, hair is everywhere in this household, always. But I've noticed since I've been using the RevAir, it's pretty interesting. When you check your filter at the end, I hardly have any hair in that, which means obviously my hair is healthier up to the roots, completely healthier. You know, I love this thing. Cannot live without it. But yes, my husband
and I love it.
Yes, yes.
I love it because any hair that is going to come off goes straight into the device and into the filter, so you don't have hair all over the floor. So Tia's gone back to Rev'ing for us. I don't feel like there's much of a learning curve to this at all. So why don't you guys go ahead and go back through a couple more sections of your hair. I know we probably have people who are just checking in right now, so I'll give them the update of where we're at, what we're doing, and they can watch you all have some fun on Wash Day Wednesday. So if you're just joining us, thank you for doing so. We are here with RevAir, which is the world's first and only reverse air dryer. What does RevAir mean? It means reverse air. And we have figured out how to harness the air in a way that allows you to dry and straighten your hair in a single step. You don't need to use the brush. There's no hot plates to burn your hair into submission. You literally put it into the wand and let it do its magic. But behind that magic is a lot of science and time that went into building the device. And while we're having some fun here, we do realize how serious things are outside of our house. So it would be remiss if we didn't say to everyone that we are thinking of you. to keep practicing your social distancing, your hand washing, wearing masks. We also want to thank everybody out there who is working while we all are not. And while we're here having some fun and trying to take our mind off of things, there are people on the front lines making sure that they're trying to save as many lives as possible. So we want you to know that 10% of profits from RevAir sales right now are going to Feed America to help those who are suffering with food insecurity and worrying about putting meals on the table during this really crazy time. What you see on the screen there is Tia in the pink shirt. She is type 4 hair, coily, curly hair, very long, beautiful hair. It used to take her 3 hours to do her hair, and she would have to basically burn those curls to get them to lie down. And now, if she washed her hair tomorrow, it would be just as curly. It doesn't disrupt the hair pattern. It just uses minimal heat and reverse air along with the aerodynamics in this wand. So again, this is the wand. Here you have the heat chamber. Your hair goes in and there's little holes right here to assure you can get the roots. You'll see that Tia is moving hers around, and you just kind of move it around at the root area to get to the very, very part of your scalp there, the very tip of it. And then on this side, you have your heat levels. So you have a low heat, you have a high heat, but even on high heat, you could put your hands right into here. There's nothing to burn you. It's really amazing how little heat it takes to dry your hair that quickly and with that much shine and that soft. It also has no heat, so it's like a cold shot. So if you wanted to seal your style or create volume at the top, you could put it at the top of your hair, and you can use it where you put it at the top and then you switch it from the heat to the no heat, and it locks in some of that volume. This is the base of the RevAir, and it has here 7 settings. So each of the girls there pick their combination of heat level and of setting. And if you weren't on earlier, I described these tension levels as how hard you would have to pull a round brush to straighten your hair. So for me, because I just have wave and a little bit of curl, I'm at about a 3 or a 4. What Tia was saying earlier is if she wants a stretch style, she just does like a 6 because she's still going to style it after. If she wants it to be, as she calls it, bone straight, then she'll put it on a 7. So you really have the flexibility, and it's one device for your entire family. So anybody in the household can use it. You'll see that they're wetting their hair. Typically, if you're straight out of the shower, you don't have to do a lot of re-wetting of your hair. It just depends on how quickly it dries. But because we've been sitting here having conversations all night, they're having to go ahead and wet their hair again. But you can see they're brushing through just before they put it in some cases. Other people are not. Some people section their hair, others don't. You find your way to do it, and you come out with beautifully sleek, straight, soft hair. If you are somebody who has coily hair, you may want to use a flat iron after because you want a more sleek look. And if you do that, you'll use it for way less time and you'll need way less heat. So it's saving you from that perspective. It also gets you to that style a lot faster. The other thing that I would say about it is that if you're about to put beachy waves in, they're going to be locked in much better because your cuticles are locked down. So as I was explaining a little while ago, your hair cuticles are like roof shingles. And the reason your hair looks frizzy is because they're blown up and apart. So why you love your stylist so much, besides the fact that they're all like our personal therapists, why you love your hairstylist so much is she can get this look that you can't seem to achieve at home. And that is because he or she is blowing your hair down with the nozzle. They're standing over you, and it allows them to get the perfect angle to lock that cuticle down, and your hair looks soft and shiny and it has bounce to it. Well, now you're able to do that at home by utilizing RevAir. You're able to get that same look and let the reverse air do all the work for you. So you can see how quickly they're doing their hair and how little work they're having to do. Nobody's sweating it. Nobody's going to have to stop and take a break. There's no hot air blowing on them. It's super, super simple. And they are nearly done with their hair in some cases. When I asked them earlier about how long it takes them now, Tia can be done. She went from 3 hours to down to 15 to 20 minutes. Jordan, who has extensions in her hair, so yes, this is safe for extensions, she takes about 30 minutes. And Sally takes anywhere from 15 to 30, just depending on how much she is doing with her hair and if she wants it to be super straight or if she just still wants a little bit of body in it. So I'll let you take a look there. Hi, Tia. How's it going?
You talking to me?
I am. How's it going? You're looking at yourself with quite the smile.
Amazing, amazing. So I think I'm going to rev this side a little bit longer, but this is what I was kind of talking about, depending on how long I do each strand for, the type of look that I can get. So this is more of like my more natural, taking my curls and stretching them and getting this kind of like thicker, natural look. And the other one is more of like a sleek, night out on the town, want it bone straight type of look. So
nice. So we're going to get to see both. Can you talk to everybody about the learning curve? Like, how long does it take you to learn to do this?
Well, considering that I was in front of a live audience and I was super nervous and it was a lot of pressure, honestly, it was maybe a minute for me. The second that I did my first strand, I realized, okay, this is, if I hold it this way, if I move it around, okay, I can tell when my roots are dry. All right, now I can know when I can take this off and see my hair. So I would say a couple of minutes max. And that's with me in front of a live audience. So at home and the comfort of your own home, it would be super quick because it really is, I mean, it's not rocket science at all. It's just more of getting familiar with how to hold it and what's comfortable for you.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Sally, are you back on to chat too? I didn't know if you had your mic on. Yay,
Nope.
Okay, good. So you are nearly done with your hair. You just have the very
Nearly
top
done. I have
section.
the top section left. Mhm.
That's amazing. So can you tell everybody a little bit about the first time you used it, if you were nervous about using it? Because, and Tia, I'd love your thoughts on this too. I mean, I know that as a consumer, I buy tons of things that don't work. I've been tricked a million times. In fact, especially because we have our stay-at-home orders, I'm like constantly buying things that are on Facebook in my feed that are like $20. You know, they feel like a gamble. And since I don't really gamble in Vegas, I feel like that's my gambling money. I'm like, yeah, maybe this suitcase thing will be cool, or maybe it'll be junk. I'll risk the 20 on it. But RevAir is obviously an investment. We do have Afterpay, so you are able to do it in payments. But what I will say is, for the investment of it, people get scared that it's a gimmick. So do you guys want to talk about that a little bit? Because I get where they're coming from, because I've wasted a lot of money over the years on things.
Yeah, definitely. I want to say that was probably why I took a little bit longer to purchase it. It was pretty costly. I was, but time is super valuable. My time to me is priceless. Time with my family. And I just, especially with my daughter's hair texture, and I knew the benefits that she would get out of it, it was a no-brainer for me. The first time I used it, I know my hair texture. I just knew how excited she would be over the process. It has saved her life. Loves it. It was definitely worth the value for both of us to be able to use it and have it in one household. We'll have to fight over it when she ever moves out, which I doubt will never happen. It definitely has been worth every single dollar. But I thought about it long and hard, and it's been worth it for us completely in this household.
That's great. Tia, were you worried that it was a gimmick?
I wasn't worried that it was.
Especially because you have type 4 hair. And I feel like a lot of brands will say, we're for every hair type, but then they let down those who have really curly or coily hair.
Yes. So I wasn't worried that it was a gimmick. I did believe that it worked. I just wasn't sure if it was going to work or work well for my hair. And I'm with Sally. You really can't put like a price on time. And for me, you can't put a price on hair health because I spent years, you guys, damaging my hair with flat irons, with hot combs, the blow dryer, pulling my hair, drying my hair. And I'm still trying to recover from that. Like I still have to get these ends trimmed. And so don't look at the ends, but I'm still trying to recover from that. If I could find something that was going to give me the look that I'm going for without damaging my curls so that when I want to wear it curly, I could do it, then I'm all in for that. So I was a little skeptical if it would work for me, but I mean, it pretty much put it to rest. You can watch the video and see that I'm not joking. Like my eyes literally popped out of my head when I realized that, oh my goodness, my hair just went from curly to straight in like 60 seconds.
Yeah. Well, so Jordan and I, as I've said, like full disclaimer, we're like best of friends. And I know that people would think, oh, she's your best friend, so she would say something nice. No. Like your real best friends in life are the ones who are like, yeah, it's good, but you still need to do this. Or yeah, it's good, but you still need to do that. So so the fact that she was like all in with this 3D printed version before we even went to market told me something. But Jordan, okay, let's talk about the elephants in the room, right? It's loud and it's big, but how have you gotten over that? Because I know you've gotten over that. I've seen you get over that very quickly.
For me, it was just using it the first time. I mean, there was no going back for me. I immediately started to get on your nerves, wanting to know how long I had to wait to have one. It completely didn't matter the size or the sound once I tried it. I was hooked.
Yeah, I think that's what's so funny is the people who will say to me, it's so big. And I'm like, there's a 30-day money back guarantee. Like we even pay for the shipping back. So you are risking nothing by trying it in your home. And every person's like, it's not that big. And even if it was, I'd build a whole nother wing on my house because I will never want to live without this again. So I have to tell you from the price perspective, even in my own family, it was so interesting because my mom came to visit and she was staying for an extended amount of time. And while she was here, she was using my Rev. And I said to her, how amazing is it, right? Don't you love it? And we hadn't even gone to market yet. Like we were just still in the stages. We're, if you don't know about Rev, we're a small company of less than 20 people who all have a dream. And our dream is to make big waves by straightening hair in a way that nobody else has ever done before. And so my mom came to visit and, you know, she's from the era of like a little blow dryer. She'd be happy with that one that's in the hotel wall, you know, like that's fine for her. A blow dryer was not an investment she would make. And so I said to her, hey, would you buy one of these? And she said, oh, I don't know. I think maybe that's too much for me. And then she went home and had to use her blow dryer again. And within 2 days, she said, that is the deal of the century. Like, I can't live without that thing. And so she immediately needed one. And I think that's what it is. The trying of it will show you all of the difference. So if you've been on the fence about it, know that we take care of everybody and we do have a 30-day money back guarantee. It's a love it, own it. We don't want you to keep it if you only just kind of like it. We want everybody out there to be raving fans of this device. So, all right, well, I'm going to let the gals go through the rest of their hair. And I'll take you through, just in case you are just joining us, a couple of the features of the device itself. And then we're going to go ahead and log out for the evening. So just what you see there is all of them, what we call revving their hair. Revving hair means you're using reverse air. That's why this company is called RevAir. We use reverse air or suction to dry and straighten the hair in a single hassle-free, easy step. You put your hair into the wand. You don't need a brush. This wand replaces that. You don't need hot plates. This wand replaces that. That's a heat chamber here. And at the mouth of the wand, there are little holes to assure that you can get right up against the root area. The air blasts onto the hair and then it gets pulled back away. And that allows you to seal your cuticles. So that locks in the good for you ingredients if you're using a primer or some sort of leave-in conditioner. It also makes your hair ridiculously shiny. You can see Jordan there with the blonde hair. Her hair is super shiny and she has extensions in. So it tells you how gentle the reverse air is. Then there's a base unit to it. And on the base unit, you have 7 tension settings. So once again, this allows you to have one device for everybody in your family. The tension settings are how I describe how hard you would have pulled a round brush to get your hair to be straight. So you can go from 1 all the way up to 7. Tia, who you see there in kind of the pink corally shirt, she's using a 7 because she has coily hair. You can do like a 3 for Jordan's hair or a 4. Sally's probably in that 3 or 4 mid-range as well. And you can use that for anyone in the family or to get different styles. So Tia, who has coily hair, said she might use less tension when she wants some more body to it and it to look a bit more natural, or if she's just prepping it for something like a stretch style or a protective style. If she wants it really sleek, she'll put it on a 7. And then with regard to the heat levels, there's a high heat, but even on its highest, it's so much lower than even a typical blow dryer and certainly more than a flat iron. There's a low heat and then there's no heat. And I use that at the very end to just lock down my hair and create some extra shine. Now, it seems like it's taken a while for these gals to do their hair because we've stopped and talked a million times and I've made them share their thoughts about RevAir, but really each of them could have done this. Jordan there with the blonde hair, she says she gets done in less than 30 minutes a day, and that's with her using RevAir with 18-inch extensions in her hair. Sally has tons of hair. She's there in the white shirt. She doesn't have a lot of texture to her hair. She just has tons of hair, very thick, beautiful, shiny hair, and that's what makes it take so long for her. So this has been a godsend and a time saver for her. She can be done in about 15 to 25 minutes, depending on the style she's going for. And then you have Tia, who went from 3 hours. She would have to get out, blow dry it, take breaks, use small sections, go over it with hot plates to make sure she could get the look that she wanted. And now she has gotten down to 15 or 20 minutes. If you want to see more videos, you can go onto YouTube and just put in RevAir, or our channel is @myRevAir, and you will see tons of people of all hair types, of all ages. They will be revving their hair, and you will be able to hear it from their mouth. You'll be able to see what all the hype is about and why this is really changing the game for women everywhere. One of my favorite things is that you can just sit there and be checking your phone and doing your hair at the same time, and you're not hot and sweaty. So I hated that kind of thing with the blow dryer where you had to take a break. And by the time you got to the top of your hair, the back of your hair was sweaty again. And so this really changes that for women. It looks like Sally might be done. Are you done?
Yeah, I am done, completely dried.
Gorgeous.
And not sweating at all.
I was saying how that's like something you don't really think about until it's like summer and you just feel like that bathroom somehow got way smaller and way hotter and you're taking breaks like halfway through doing your hair. I know that sounds silly, but it's completely true.
Fanning yourself off, trying to keep the makeup on still. Don't have to worry about that anymore. So yes.
I know. It looks like Jordan's done too. Look at that. With 18-inch extensions in her hair, she was able to knock that out that quickly. Hi, can you hear us?
Yes, I'm done.
Okay, let's see it. Let's see the back. Let's see. Oh my goodness. It's gorgeous and shiny, and she's going to be petting herself. It looks beautiful. I mean, that's what's so great about this is now if you wanted to go add in some curls, you could do that. But in and of itself, you could wear it just like that and be quite happy. I think Tia's on her last 2 sections, which you guys, for type 4 hair, is unbelievable that she's finishing in the same time as you. I mean, I know when I hear women talk about the struggles of how much, especially when they have to go to salons and use hot combs and hot plates and like the damage done to their hair. And now the fact that she can do this in her own bathroom just really blows my mind. Look at that.
Yeah.
Amazing. I think she's down to her last section. Wow. And she did a 7 on that side. So the side that she's playing with there, she did a 7. Hi. So you did a 7 on that side, right? And a 6 on the other. So
Correct,
just so everybody knows what we're talking about. When I say a 7 and a 6, we're talking about this tension. Oh, turn it around here. This tension dial. If she wants a bit more body in her hair, she doesn't turn the tension as high. It would be like not using a round brush. It would be like using a paddle brush. So you can see from one side to the other, the versatility of the look for her. So she was able to do very sleek or a bit more natural. Well, you guys, I think that this was a really good respite from the nightly grind. Although I do think that I was going to start this whole thing with, hello, cool cats and kittens from the Tiger King. I thought I'd be like Carol. And I'd be like, hello, cool cats and kittens. So I know everybody has Netflix to get back to, Hulu, Apple TV. What are our other options? Bravo. Andy Cohen, we love you. Get well. You guys, thank you so much. Is there any last things you want to talk about before we finish up here for the night? No? All right. Anybody want to plug their page or anything? Hey, let's do some quick plugs. Jordan, tell everybody about Smart Bronze and what page to follow.
Yes, we are a spray tanning salon in the DFW area. You can follow us at smartbronze.com.
Nice.
Awesome. Sally, what do you want to plug?
Oh, I don't know. I don't really have anything like that. But RevAir, I just want to say, go out and buy it. It's so worth it. So worth it.
Hey, Tia, is there anything you want to share? Any upcoming projects you have or a page anybody should follow?
Everybody's more than welcome to follow me on Instagram at Tia Streety. And if there's any curly girls out there that have any questions, or you just want to ask about my experience and my hair journey, please feel free to hit me up. I'm very passionate about it now that I've kind of found a healthy way to get different styles that I want. So definitely follow me. I'll give you a follow. And I love people and I love meeting new people. So reach out for sure.
Awesome. Well, thank you all so much for taking the time tonight. Everybody who watched, thank you for joining us. Again, you will see us twice weekly right now. Our next live will be over on Instagram on Friday night at 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 Central, 5 Pacific. We're going to do a Give It To Me Straight, where we let somebody talk about the real deal of RevAir and their thoughts about it. Joining us for the first time is a mom who has 5 daughters.
Wow.
5 daughters, you guys, and they all rev. So we're going to be talking about that on Friday. But again, our thanks to everybody who's out there keeping us safe and well. And thank you, ladies, for a great night. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.